To start off the course, I'd like to talk a little bit about what gratitude is. And we can do that a number of ways. One, by just accessing universal definition. But it's not enough to just know what a definition is. We need to know how it is experienced in our own lives before we charge ahead. So before we get too deep into the definition and the etymology of the word, I want you to stop and pause the video and free form express on paper what gratitude means to you. Now, don't overthink this part of the process. Just pause the video, write down a few things, and then come back to the video. The purpose of this aspect of the course is to dial in on your personal definition or your personal experiences, because it doesn't matter what my personal experiences are necessarily with gratitude. If we're going to get you to a place of employing an attitude of gratitude, we need to know your personal story. Now that we have your personal side of the story, let's cut to the quick and get a universal definition down. Now it says here, the quality of being thankful or readiness to show appreciation and a return to kindness. Now, to me, this definition is pretty holistic. However, it's missing a quality that we need to define by looking at the word's etymology and the history of the word gratitude to see where it came from. Now, if you just popped onto Google and did an etymological search for gratitude, what you'd find is that gratitude comes from the Middle French, and what it means or roughly translates to is goodwill. Now, when we look at this and we think about gratitude, and we look about it in this new context with goodwill, what does that evoke within you? What do you begin to understand when you hear the words goodwill? If we think of the word will, we understand that it means to determine by an act of choice or to have a purpose, a desire, a determination, or a certain mindset. So when we're examining this in the case of gratitude, we understand that gratitude is not necessarily reactionary, but is an active component in our lives, which means that we have to choose from day number one to be grateful. Therefore, if we have to choose it, it means that gratitude is not necessarily just being thankful for things that we're given or for the experiences that we have. But in truth, it means to commit to an action or a purpose of goodness, or to practice a mindful attitude of goodwill. You see, gratitude turns what we have in life into enough. If gratitude truly can turn what we have in this very present moment into enough for us to feel happy, joyful, or fulfilled, then that clearly makes it our greatest superpower. You see, gratitude can and often does transform our entire world, from the things around us to the experiences that we have. It does so by shifting our perception of the world and allowing us an access to a beginner's mind. For example, think back to a time when you were a child and you saw something for the very first time and it just blew your socks off. It was the most amazing thing you'd ever seen in your life. Now fast forward a little bit and approach this as an adult or somebody who's older. Can you, in all honesty, say that you are approaching life in this moment with this Zen mind or this childlike sense of wonder and amazement? If you see the distinction between your childlike mind and your adult mind, it's okay. We've all been there. In fact, taking things for granted is one of the biggest struggles that anyone has as they enter into adulthood. See, gratitude isn't easy. It's not something that we just flip a switch on. In fact, it's very much a practice that we have to work at diligently if we want to shift our perception of our own world. One of the reasons that we struggle so much with approaching life with an attitude of gratitude as an adult is because we are constantly comparing ourselves, the things that we own, and the experiences that we have with that of the other people around us. Now, it's been said many times that comparison is the death of joy. When we compare our lives to that of others or even imagine a better life, we miss the ultimate gift. There is nothing in this world more worthy of childlike wonder and amazement or the Zen mind or beginner's mind than this present moment. There is an incredible amount of power in the miraculous experience that is this present moment. If we could only access one iota of excitement for this present moment, then we'd be half the way there. You might be saying right now, if it's so simple to just access this childlike wonder and amazement or this present moment, then why is it so difficult to master gratitude? Well, one of the things that I personally believe is that we misidentify gratitude. We misidentify it as an action instead of what it is naturally, which is a state of being. So you see, gratitude isn't an emotional response or a reaction to an event that occurs to us. Gratitude is a state of being wherein we mindfully choose to act in accordance with goodwill. You see, this radical transformation of how we perceive gratitude will change how we perceive the world. And if we put this attitude of gratitude in practice, what we can do with it is nearly unlimited.